Hello, everyone. This is not supposed to be a live session. This is something that I felt was something I wanted to share on a morning like this. Something that I've been having in my heart for a while, and I wanted to always share with everyone. It is how to explore your gifts and the kind of common blocks that we face as people, and that I've seen that basically causes a lot of imbalance in spiritual gifts and people who are trying to awaken. And I feel that it's time that we stepped up and we understood what is actually standing in the way between you exploring yourself as a person, because we all have the same gifts. We all come with the same gifts. The only difference is that we are not able to use it like it is meant to, because of the fear that we have in us. The fear that we have in us is so huge because of the mental conditioning in this world, the way that fear is inflicted on all of us, the way that the media, the folklore, the stories that we've heard from our ancestors, from people who claim to know so much. I want to tell you that if you would just open up your heart and receive the blessings of the guides and of the guardian angels, it is such a huge boon. It is such a huge boon to be able to understand that there is so much of beauty out there, so much of magnificence out there. All you really need to do is let go. When I started seeing spirits, when I started seeing my guardian angel, I was barely 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old, and I didn't have a choice, you see. At that point I didn't understand what was of the light and what wasn't. All I remembered was I would see all of them in the same light. I would not know the difference between someone who was alive as in this world and someone who wasn't. They all appeared the same to me, and they still do. When I look at my guides today, it is just as good as seeing any one of you if you were standing in front of me. There is nothing preventing you from using the same gifts, because it is there for all of us. It is a blessing. And in this point, when this world is going through so much, nothing would give you much more joy, nothing would give you much more peace, and the kind of guidance that you get from your guides and from your guardian angels and all of the others on the other side is immense. It will be immensely helpful for you. And so please don't just, go from one psychic to the other and keep asking for answers. Every now and then make an effort to meditate. Make an effort to tap into the inner person, the soul that you are. Tap into it through meditation, prayer. Try and look for ways to communicate and use those gifts that you have, because they're not exclusive. They're there for everyone. It's just that the matter of trust that you need to have in yourself. Children are so innocent. Children are so receptive. They don't judge, You only need to look into them and see that there is so much of innocence in them, and that innocence is what opens them up to beyond what we can actually perceive as adults, where we add logic and we add our own mental conditioning. We start thinking of what others would think if we were to open up and accept our gifts openly. If we were to say, okay, I can see spirits, and if I can see other dimensions. We all have that social fear. That social fear kind of sets us back from our own development. And at one point of time in this world, in this very soil that you walk on, there were people who lived every single day just spiritually. They believed spirituality was a part of their lives, and their energy still roams this earth in some way or the other. And we are descendants, and we just have lost our way. It doesn't mean that you will never find it. We will all find it. It is just about tapping into it. We will always have the blessings of the higher dimensions. We will always have the blessings of God. It is that blind faith I'm talking about. You need to trust, because trust really matters. It may seem like the hardest hurdle to cross, to not doubt your gifts, but it is actually the other way around. The view is magnificent from the top. It's like any other achievement. Once you release yourself, once you make an effort to disconnect from your ideologies as a person, it doesn't mean that you will end up being looked down by others. All of that is just a misconception mostly. Because when I started out, it was always, what would others think if they knew who I was? What would others say? Would they accept me for who I am? That was the most important thing for me then. But while I was thinking all of that, I failed to realize that I was actually standing in the way of my own blessings. Because when I opened up and decided that I was going to open up, that I was going to see what was on the other side, to accept myself for my gifts, for who I am, I realized that it was so much more beautiful. And nothing in this world right now can compensate for that. And I'm so honored and I'm so grateful I made that decision. And I would love each one of you to try that. Meditation is a state of mind, it is not a technique. I don't seem to find any guided meditation suitable for me, but that does not have to apply for you. You just have to, it's all about trial and error. It's all about finding out what works for you and what doesn't. You don't have to, treat this like a religion where you have systems to follow. This is not about systems. This is about what is being truthful to yourself. And the message today is to be truthful to yourself and not to this world all the time. The world will function just as well. You will still have your job, you will still have your family, all of that will go on. But what are you really doing for yourself? What are you really doing for yourself? It's not the hobby that you took up. It's not the friends that you have. It's not what you do with your the free time that you have. It is not being on Facebook or going after, who's giving free readings. No, it is not all of that. That defines part of your life. But what are you really doing for yourself as a soul? That matters. Because at the end of the day, when you go to bed, you should have some kind of inner peace and satisfaction that you've done something for yourself, and that doesn't come from doing any of the other things. What is most important is that you establish some kind of contact with your inner self, with the other side, and to know that you get a lot more answers because it's exclusivity. When you ask about yourself, there are some things that your guides would not want to speak. They also give importance to privacy, not just their privacy, but to your privacy too. So, for instance, if you come up to a live session, and you ask me a question and you feel that it is not being answered, or I'm not just really focusing on you, it does not mean that I'm avoiding you, but it simply means that I'm not connecting to your guides, or your guides are not giving me any answers to those particular questions. Because it's a public forum, you have to understand that it is not just about getting answers. It is about the kind of privacy that you require, that your guides feel that you require, and to respect that. There are authorities on the other side that decide what is good and what isn't for you. Just because we are here and we believe that we're in control, because we feel that our control, we can control anything that we can see and feel, and there is so much more beyond what you can see and what you can feel and what you can hear. And that plays a much bigger role in your life than what you see over here now. You have to understand that. That is important. And the blessings that you receive by just being here, but connecting to the other side, and having someone to guide you through, someone who has a bigger picture of where life takes you, is amazing. You have to understand that, you have to accept that. And that really moves your lives in directions that you never would have thought. Because we always think out of ego. We think we know all the answers. We think we know where our life is headed. We plan ahead. We do so much. But what is really going to help you is the fact that when you work together hand in hand with your guides, it will help you to see the bigger picture and help you to go through life in a much more matured way. It will save you time as a soul and put you in the right path at the right time. There are 3 very important lessons in this world that we all came to learn. One is patience, and then there is grief and ego. These are the 3 things that we have come to overcome, most of us. This is something like the basic lesson, which is also the most important lesson. These lessons are very important. Of course, there's so many others that we all have come to learn individually. They come in different forms, but these 3 things, ego, patience, and grief, these 3 things are very important, and we all came to learn it. Once you master these 3 things, you will realize that life is so much easier to deal with. I would not say I have mastered them, but I have overcome a lot of things as far as my spirituality is concerned, and one of them is patience. There was a time when I was always impatient about doing things. I always wanted fast results, but that's because we are raised that way. This lifestyle, this culture, this generation, we want everything really fast. Everything around us is designed to make our lives move faster, for things to happen faster. If you look around us, every single thing. We have learned to lose our patience through the life we lead. But that doesn't work well with spirituality. That doesn't work well with the universe. Because no matter what you rush, you can never rush destiny. You can never rush your path. That will only happen as and when it should. So when you practice patience, you will realize that it is so much more simpler to live as a person than to get carried away by the impatience in this world. You cannot rush birth. You cannot rush death. So even if you think death is in your own hands, and some people think, okay, it's too much to deal with, and they take their own lives, they don't get anywhere. They only come back to the same set of lessons again and again. So the truth is that you need to understand that there needs to be a certain level of patience that you need to adopt for developing your spiritual gifts. And you need to understand that there is also a need for you to shed your ego when it comes to understanding the spiritual world, your gifts. When you walk around with an ego, your spirit guides don't even understand that. And come to think of it, what good is an ego? I don't need to have an ego with any of you. It doesn't put me in a better pedestal. I don't want a pedestal in the first place. I'm here to do my job and leave. On the other side, no one has an ego because they don't see the reason why they should have an ego when everyone is the same. And that is the same thing here. Why do you think we have power plays? Why do you think we have politics? Why do you think we have people who are rich and poor, people who are fighting to be the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer? There's always this concept of you're better than me and I'm worse than you and now you have more than me. This whole thing should be understood that there is no exclusivity anywhere. This universe does not understand exclusivity. It is we as people who create this exclusivity. It is our ego, it is our mind, it's our impatience that creates exclusivity. You are not any less deserving. You are not any less deserving than the person next door or the millionaire next door. You are just as deserving. It is the path you chose. If someone's grass seems greener on the other side, it's because someone has been really taking good care of that. You know what I mean? There is always a lot of work behind every glory. If it takes me to sit here and it looks very impressive to a lot of people, it's because I've put in a lot of hard work over the years. Tremendous hard work. It's the same with everything. You need to put in tremendous hard work. And to see just the glory and not the hard work behind it would also only mean that you are depriving yourself of the truth. And why would you deprive yourself of that? So the bottom line is you have to do a few things. You have to understand that we are all here to learn something or teach something. And that is the only reason why we're here. Every single person, every single thing in this world is here to teach you something or learn something from you. Never underestimate the ability of another person. Never judge. I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to request. I feel this message is important to some of you today. I haven't started my day. I'm just about waiting for readings to start. But the thing is that the readings are not the only part of my life. That's not the only part of my mission. My mission is also to share a lot of information that I know and to help you along this way, this path, wherever you are. To help you along, to give you that hope that it's an amazing experience to allow yourself to just surrender to the higher will of God. And not just when it's an emergency. God is not the ER room that you go to. God is home. So don't treat him like he is some kind of entity that's there only for emergencies. The guides are there 24 hours a day, not only when you need them. I talk to my guides every time. I don't want to be, the thing is that I don't believe that I only need them to channel. I don't need them to only channel. I talk to them. They're family. That's the kind of connection I would love you to have because it's so valuable. You have no idea. You have no idea how valuable that is. I adore everyone on the other side. I call them my family on the other side. I absolutely adore them. And I want you to have that same relationship. It is not exclusive. It is there for everyone. So please, I humbly request that you make an effort. Start meditating. Reach out inside you. Do something for yourself and not just for others. Don't just exist, but really live, thrive. And I hope this message goes inside you deeply and in some way affects you positively. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all tonight at the live session. I love you. Namaste.